This is Belfast's busy high street on a bustling Saturday morning in April 2011. It is perhaps unknown to them, but as each shopper walks from store to store, they are performing a little miracle. They're walking on water. Well, not literally, but just below the pavement, the River Farset flows. The Farset gave Belfast its name, Bel Fairsta, the mouth of the River Farset. Just over 200 years ago, a baby boy was born in High Street. As a man, he was to perform a different kind of miracle, with poetry. He was later to graduate in law from Trinity College Dublin, and throughout his life was to take a keen interest in antiquarianism and archaeology. He also became skilled in the art of the written word. In the year 1810, this is where the prolific and industrious Samuel Ferguson was born. Libraries could be filled with books on the life and works of Ferguson. The subject of our story, however, concentrates on just one of his works, in which his poetic skills became beautifully entwined with a simple but evocative and plaintive melody to form the perfect song that is The Lark in the Clear Air. Dear thoughts are in my mind, and my soul soars, enchanted, as I hear the sweet lark sing in the clear air of the day. For a tender, beaming smile to my hope has been granted, and tomorrow she shall hear all my fond heart would say. After he moved to Dublin, Ferguson married Mary Catherine Guinness of the Guinness brewing family. In her book, Samuel Ferguson, The Ireland of His Day, Mary Ferguson recalls that an old Irish gentlewoman once sang a melody to her called The Tailor's Son. The melody captivated Mary Ferguson's imagination and heart. The Ferguson household in Dublin was one visited by scholars, dignitaries, poets and musicians. One musician and friend was a 36-year-old harper from Sweden called Adolf Schoeden. In 1879, while visiting the Fergusons in Dublin, Mary passed on the plaintive air of The Tailor's Son to Schoeden, who, she says, was enchanted and enthralled by it. Schoeden then asked Samuel Ferguson to write lyrics which would suit this soulful air. Ferguson agreed. A song was born and took flight. Very soon, Schoeden, regarded as the Paganini of the harp, was performing and endearing audiences with this song in venues in Dublin and Limerick. Later, he wrote to Ferguson saying, "I need not tell you about the complete success of The Tailor's Son, or rather, The Lark in the Clear Air. I am indeed proud of the result of my attempting to bring out the Irish airs on their own instrument, and I am fully aware how much I owe the success to yourself and Lady Ferguson." The melody that accompanied The Lark in the Clear Air has origins that go further back in time than the time of Samuel Ferguson. The island we now know as Ireland has had many names bestowed upon it from time immemorial. As far back as 543 BC, Orpheus was calling it Ierna Invenal. Ptolemy called it Iris. Caesar, Insula Sacra, or Sacred Isle. Other names include Hibernia and Scotia. In the Irish language, it was once known as Inishfal, or Island of Destiny.
Misha era, Shinna me no an cholach vera, Mór maglor, me a rog hu cholan kroga, Mór manor, ma chlan féin a yela mahar. Misha era, Ugni me no an cholach vera.
This ancient poem, the writer of which is unknown, was later translated into modern Irish by Patrick Pearse, who called it Misha Era. The poet sees Ireland as an aggrieved woman. It is a work of political allegory. The poem Roisin Dubh, or Dark Rosaleen, is another example of such expression. Sometimes it seems that it is impossible to examine the history of Irish music without examining the history of Irish politics. The story behind The Lark in the Clear Air is, alas, no exception. In 1720, in the townland of Lattin, South Tipperary, William Heffernan was born. William, or Liam Dahl, Blind Liam, besides being a hedge schoolmaster, was also a poet who lived to the ripe age of 83. In his early 60s, Liam Dahl penned 4 verses for his poem, Caitlín Ullacháin. The poem was most probably written between 1779 and 1782. During this period, England was at war with Spain, France and Holland. Heffernan sees England's difficulty as Ireland's opportunity. He hopes for an English defeat, which could mean rescue and freedom for Ireland. We don't know exactly when, but Heffernan's words found a home in an Irish harp melody. This melody later featured in the manuscripts of Edward Bunting, the Irish music collector. In 1840, in one of Bunting's publications of collected airs, a tune entitled Kitty Nolan is featured, an anglicised version of the name Caitlín Ullacháin. This tune was notated by Bunting in 1806 from the playing of the County Leitrim harper Charles Byrne. This is not the air that was most associated with Heffernan's Caitlín Ullacháin. If it is, it would have to be unceremoniously shoehorned into the words. However, there was another air called Kathleen Nolan, which was collected by Bunting, but was not included in any of his 3 publications. The editor of the Journal of the Irish Folk Song Society, Charlotte Milligan Fox, says that she found this particular Kathleen Nolan in one of Bunting's notebooks, adding that no notes were made by him as to where he got the air and from whom he got it. But this, indeed, was the elusive ancient tune which fitted, suited, and complemented Heffernan's words. the Irish Folk Song Society published the melody Kathleen Nolan in Volume 8 of their society's journals. In 1960, Donal O'Sullivan published his Songs of the Irish. Within its covers he featured, he said, for the first time, the poetry of Liam Dal Heffernan and the air to which it was sung, Kathleen Nolan. Lady Mary Ferguson was enchanted by it. Sir Samuel Ferguson penned his poetry to it. Adolf Schouten was enthralled by it. Kathleen Nolan gave life to it. This is Kathleen na Ulachan.
Massam with na column rim, dem just ban, ach malas lichem kahakliv, the hurti dra, be gallery star legacies, love is Macarie Kathleen Ulachan.
At the Belfast Harpers' Assembly in 1792, Bunting collected many airs from the gathered harpers in the assembly rooms in Belfast, situated between St Anne's and Ferguson's birthplace. Perhaps Kathleen Nolan was one of the airs he collected then. The efforts of Bunting, the Fergusons, and the Swedish harper Schouten ensured that future generations would witness the meteoric ascent of a song which took the form of the lark. In 1895, The Lark in the Clear Air was published in the Irish Songbook by A.P. Graves. Shortly after its publication, the Italian composer and pianist Michele Esposito presented his adopted city, Dublin, and indeed the rest of the world, with a fine and polished arrangement of the song. Denis O'Sullivan, actor, singer, and friend of Esposito, was born in San Francisco in 1868 of Irish parents. Throughout America, O'Sullivan rose to fame for his singing of such songs like The Lark in the Clear Air. Such was his public persona, his image was used to promote an American cigar company who featured a painting of him on their cigar boxes, accompanied by the tagline, Irish Singer. Besides the Belfast-born Ferguson having written words to the melody, the song has even more Belfast connections. In 1893, Carl Gilbert Hardebeck moved from London to Belfast. He soon fell in love with Irish music, becoming a collector of songs and airs and an arranger of music. The charms of The Lark in the Clear Air did not escape his attention, as he also made an arrangement of it. Since that day, Ferguson added his sublime verses to the Tailor's Son or Kathleen Nolan. Countless versions of The Lark in the Clear Air have been arranged, rearranged and recorded. Kate Winslet sang the song in the 2001 movie called Iris. County Derry's Cara Dillon still sings a haunting version of the song. In 1994, Belfast's own Sir James Galway recorded an album called The Lark in the Clear Air. Ireland is its own small world. Samuel Ferguson was born in Belfast High Street. Just around the corner, Edward Bunting, before he dedicated his life to collecting Irish music, had been organist in St Anne's Cathedral. 71 years after Ferguson had penned those words which have captured hearts and minds in Ireland, mainland Europe, America and throughout the world, on the 21st of April 1950, a young boy soprano from Belfast went into a recording studio accompanied by the pianist Gerald Moore. This 15-year-old boy was once a member of the choir in St Anne's Cathedral. The choir boy stood in front of a microphone, waited for Gerald Moore's piano intro, then rendered Ferguson's poetry to the melody of Kathleen O'Lachan or Kathleen Nolan. This is that boy soprano, Belfast's Billy Neely.
Thoughts are in my mind, and my soul's enchanted as I hear the sweet lark sing in the clearer of the day. For a tender beaming smile to my hope has been granted, and tomorrow she shall hear all my fond heart would say. I shall tell her all my love, all my soul's adoration, and I think she will hear me and will not say me nay. It is this that gives my